Thank you for joining us today for a session on a meaningful gap year and what it means for the students to develop soft skills and international competence while doing a meaningful gap year. My name is Florence Lebois, and I have the honor to be today the Dean of Global Programs for Group IGS in France. I have been working in international education for a very long time, and I am a strong believer that international education changes life and open minds. I will be today co-presenting this session with Dominique, who will introduce herself a little later. Today, we're going to talk about why the pandemic changed our vision of global education and gave the opportunity to the young generation to think outside the box. As you know, the pandemic changed our approach to international and intercultural education. After a year behind our computers, many young people, just like us, need to be re-engaged to find their best. They're worried about their future. They feel the need to learn to see the world differently and gain a new understanding on what they really want. As we can imagine, one of the great results and a positive thing about the pandemic is that now the younger generation not only believe and think it's possible to take different paths, to move out of their comfort zone, but they also believe it's a wonderful thing to do. Like I just told you, the young generation need to be re-engaged. They also need, and that's very important, to have the ability to step back, to make their choice, to achieve fulfillment and live the best life with pride and confidence. On the other hand, most of the companies today have also a growing demand for employees who possess strong social and behavioral skills, as well as an ability to work successfully in an increasingly international environment. Now I'm going to let Dominique talk with you and discuss why it is important to encourage students to do a gap year.
Thank you, Florence. My name is Dominique Bert. So I've been working in higher education for more than 30 years, and for decades, I always focused on studies and later on student placement. Now, and even more than ever, after a year of pandemic, I would say to high school graduates or students, you deserve to step back and think about yourself. Why encourage a gap year? There are so many objections for not doing a gap year. Parents, students, and even college counselors have many good reasons for not doing or encouraging a gap year after high school. First reason, my child will work for a year and make money and will have no desire to go back to school. Obviously, during this year working, the child will get a minimum wage and therefore will fully understand that to make more money, he or she will better go back to school and get a degree and pursue a successful career. So the second reason, my child will lose hers or his study habits. It would be hard to go back to school. Some surveys conducted by Gap Year Association shows that 90% return to college within a year. Oh, the third objection, which is probably the hardest one, would be, gap year. It's such a waste of time and waste of money. 30% of American students and even more in France drop the college during their freshman year, or so many students choose their studies according to the job market. I want to be a lawyer to make money, or I'm studying business because my parents encourage me to do so, etc. I met so many law students at student fairs, open houses, accompanied by parents trying to guide them. Colleges over the years became more competitive. Because of the pandemic, the anxiety and depression rate have never been that high. The need to be re-engaged after a year spent behind the computer is even higher than before. Again, some surveys show students perform better and get better grades after a gap year. It is really a waste of time to take a gap year, knowing that some Ivy League universities recommend taking a gap year to get not only good applicants, but good citizens, motivated and engaged students. Gap year takers never regret. 1 year in a life is nothing, and it's a year when we learn so much about ourselves. Why many college counselors don't recommend gap years? We measure the success of US high schools on a lot of metrics, but college guidance counselors are responsible for one metric above all of those, the percentage of each graduating class heading to college the following fall. For elite schools, the metric goes even further, focusing on the percentage heading to elite colleges. These metrics are reported to the government, are used in marketing materials. Guidance counselors are the members of the school staff most responsible for ensuring this critical percentage remains high. How to choose a gap year? I receive, just probably like you, inquiries from students wishing to pursue a gap year, such as, I want to travel. Okay, are we educators or a travel agency? I want to take a break from my studies. Okay, any special goals? For sure, a gap year is not a vacation. I want to learn a language, a new culture. Okay, looks like students have some projects in mind. According to Gap Year Association, those are the 3 steps that students must follow to choose the right gap year. Step 1, make a list of goals you would like to achieve, skills you want to learn, and experience you want to have. Steps 2, challenge yourself with where to go and what to do. Step 3, tackle the logistics, consider application after the gap year. Gap years is a gateway to more global education for young generation. Those are some rules we have to follow anyway. Rule 1 is go abroad. It looks like obvious, but go abroad instead of choosing a gap year in your own country. This is the only way to learn a language or improve or discover a new culture. It's the only way to develop new skills. Florence will develop skills later on during this session. And it's the only way to navigate and be out of your comfort zone and to make friends from all over the world and build an international network. Step 2, rule 2, choose a program which draws participants from all over the world. Our tendency is to join an island program even abroad. A lot of programs are designed just to attract participants from the same country or only international students. For example, language programs by definition will not attract local students. Choose a program that attracts local students as well. There is no better way to be immersed in the culture and improve the language skills. Rule number 3, choose a program built around workshop group projects. There is no better way to improve the intercultural skills than working, debating with our international peers. Oh, should I go abroad during my gap year or should I study abroad? During a gap year, participants are away from education to focus on their self-development, self-discovery, and interpersonal skills, and overall develop soft skills rather than hard skills. While study abroad students are focusing on more academic component and they are worried about transferring back their credits to their home institution. Plus, unfortunately, the study abroad programs are getting shorter from 2 to 4 weeks, far too short to develop intercultural skills. Florence, why soft skills are even more important today for in your personal life and professional life?
Soft skills. What does it mean to talk about soft skills? What it is about our educational system that make young people really good at following directions, but really bad at thinking for themselves. That's what soft skills are about. Soft skills are the skills that help you get through life better. and get on with people. The intangible skills that are more likely to come from life experience than formal training. That's why a gap year abroad is one of the best way to develop, to acquire those soft skills you need in your personal and professional life. A meaningful gap year will obviously deliver some hard skills. Let's talk about language skills that are very valuable in the modern world. But if you go abroad, if you choose to spend a year abroad, the experience of learning surrounded by another culture will affect students way more than just increasing your vocabulary in one language. There are so many soft skills that you will develop even naturally without thinking about it, without even working on them. And that it's very hard. If you look at the different website about all the benefits of a gap year, about the soft skills, you will sometimes see about 20, 25 different soft skills that you will strongly develop. I have picked a few that are for me really important and make sense when you choose to have a meaningful gap year. The adaptability. Obviously, in your professional and personal life today, you will need that adaptability. The team spirit, working and living with people from a different background, from different culture. Being creative. This is one of the most important soft skills based on what the company are looking at. With the fourth one, that is creative problem solving. You won't think about these problems the same way than everybody else because you've learned differently, because you've seen things differently, because you've been with people that do not have the same culture and the same mindset than you. And finally, obviously, communication. Being abroad, you will learn to speak in public as we do, and you learn to understand and progress within your communication skills with others. But even more important than those soft skills, a meaningful gap year is about developing personality traits. Those personality traits will help you be who you are and who you want to be. And probably you'll be happy to look at yourself in the mirror when you're 40 years old and see a very confident person that has done exactly what they wanted to do. Self-confidence, obviously, it's really important. Perseverance, it's very hard to be abroad. It's very hard to be in another culture and to be immersed. But really thinking about it as it's a strong way for me to learn about myself and learn about my future is wonderful. Ambition, being ambitious can be very positive if it's about, I know why I want to be who I want to be. Integrity, one of the biggest value that you will learn. You can't lie when you are abroad. Flexibility, like I said earlier, flexibility and adaptability are the two soft skills that are really important in companies today, but it will be also important in your personal life. If you change jobs, you change maybe country, you want to have a different life. And obviously what combine all of the aboves, the maturity that you will gain by being abroad. So what is really important to think about when we talk about soft skills and we talk about the benefit of a gap year to improve, to increase, to develop, to learn about the soft skills. It's about increase your self-awareness and curiosity of the world. That's obviously cannot be done if you stay behind a computer or if you stay at home. It's about becoming someone who knows what he or she wants and is confident about their future. And finally, that's really everything around that is about finding the right and the meaningful gap year and what it is about for you. We both would like to thank you for your time. We certainly appreciate and hope you've learned a lot about the gap year and all about the soft skills that comes with doing a gap year. And please feel free to have a look at our Take Me Out program that we've built through the pandemic and that we strongly believe will give a lot to our students today. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.